So where you think he'll do his time? Dannemora or Sing Sing?
$100 on the big house in Austin. He's got old friends up there.
You gotta show me the cash first.
We were making a movie. Nobody got raped.
You can't talk to us without your lawyer.
I'll sign a release if it'll get me out of here.
Hancock and Bottom.
What kind of movie?
Gay porn.
I produce films. I sent Willem Mueller to pay Wesley for his services. One of the best group scenes we've ever shot.
And why should we believe that?
I could screen the film for you if you'd like.
So Wesley's one of your gay porn stars?
Don't be ridiculous. He's not gay. Gay on Straight sells a lot of videos, especially if it's bareback. Wesley's strictly gay for pay at $1,500 a bang.
In New York City, sexually based offenses are considered especially heinous. These are their stories.
Hey guys, welcome to Munch My Benson. My name's Adam. I'm here in Albuquerque, and at any minute now, we might have to stop recording because I have to drive my wife to the hospital. Hopefully not, but you never know. I'm joined on the line by Josh. How are things, Josh?
Well, I may have to get up in the middle of recording to answer the buzzer because my Drew will be buzzing up to crash here after a concert, but it shouldn't be.
Nice.
It'll probably be at least an hour from now. So
Yeah, I would think, right? Let's see. I had to work today.
that's lame.
Yeah. So my boss's husband is out of town for like 3 weeks. So because I'm like the dude, I'm the one who has to move the trailer. So I will have to like go into work to move the trailer.
For an hour, 20 minutes of
2
work,
hours. Yeah, because I got to like go get the truck and hook it up and take it to the next place and unhook it and then go get my car. So I don't know. It ended up being like 2 hours probably, but
yeah.
I'll end up having to do like 2 hours of work once every other week or something for a little while.
Sure.
But it was all right. I get to play with power tools all day today because this guy was a woodworker. And so I got to make sure that they all worked. And that was kind of fun, I guess. Yeah. What have you been up to?
We recorded the Q's and T's episode of the episodes that we'll be doing with Gabe from SVU Pod, especially heinous.
Oh, nice.
So we did that today.
Yeah. Nice. Well, that sounds fun.
Yeah.
So this is season 3 now, right?
2.
You're
We're
already
still on 2.
You're still on 2. Okay.
Yeah.
But you're almost done.
We'll only have one more set to do after this. So this is 9 of 10.
Nice.
Of season 2. And we'll start dropping them soon. We'll probably start dropping them to coincide with when this is dormant.
Yeah. I mean, that works for you, right? So
it sure does. It makes my life a lot fucking easier. Yeah. And I was thinking maybe to keep things in the Munch My Benson feed, I'll drop old ones that are behind the paywall into the public feed one a week.
Yeah, and we might be able to do like a movie club or something. I could see doing like one recording in November, something like that, you know.
Right.
I'll probably be ready for it.
You won't have a lot of
I'm not going to have,
And movie club is a lot easier for you than these are.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, just the whole process takes less time than these do, you know, whether it's getting it out or, you know, watching the movies usually takes less time than writing a recap does. That's for sure.
Oh, absolutely. Having already watched Green Card and taken notes on it.
It was the best movie you've seen today, right, Josh?
Yeah, because I haven't seen another movie today.
Yeah. I did get to recommend Mandy to somebody today, so that was
nice.
That was exciting. Oh yeah, so this house, I got some like serious record scores at this house. I found a love record, you know, like probably an original love record from the 1966 one, the eponymously titled one, but that one's good. I got a ridiculous Isaac Hayes record that has a wild cover. It's called Juicy Fruit, and it's Isaac Hayes standing in a pool of water surrounded by women who are topless and only wearing like plastic fruit. And then on the back, they're like also all the women are doing something else around him. But on the inside, it just is all the women's feet with their bathing suit bottoms around their ankles. It's pretty good stuff.
Yeah. Have you been watching anything?
You know, honestly, I've been watching a little bit of Law and Order CI.
Okay. What iteration? Only Goldblum?
So we're in some season, I don't even remember which one, that features both the Noth, Annabella Sciorra, and the Gorin and Eames. So it like alternates back and forth.
Yeah.
Which is kind of fun to alternate.
That's the season before
detectives
Goldblum,
teams.
I think.
I think so. I think you're right. I think it's the last D'Onofrio and Eames. Yeah.
We've been watching the new season of Only Murders.
Okay, nice.
It's been fun.
What are you drinking, bud?
I've got a Bullet Rye Rocks in my Tony's on the Pier, Redondo Beach, California.
Cheers.
Unofficial, official bar of Much My Benson.
Yeah. I'm drinking one of those too. Official, unofficial bar. I miss it. I really want to go back. I need to abandon these kids and just take a vacation just on the Redondo Beach Pier.
Let's just hang out in Redondo.
Yeah, seriously. Like, don't even need a hotel room. I'll rough it for a couple days. Sleep on the beach.
I mean, we can just record from there, right?
Bathe in the water, you know?
Yeah.
Spend all night with the fishermen.
I don't have anything to live for here. But if I was in Redondo, I would. Dude,
it's so nice.
Heaven,
and it's
heaven
nice
on earth.
It doesn't even matter what the weather. If it's foggy, it's gorgeous. If it's sunny, it's gorgeous. Man, you hear just the slapping of the waves. It's great. You know that hill off to the side that's filled with awful Republicans is literally sliding off the world into the sea.
You might see one fall to their death just into the ocean. I also have a Miller High Life over here that'll open eventually.
Likewise, I have Bullet Rye in the Rocks. And I have a 7K IPA in this absurd 3 Coco Pelles, well, really, technically 6 Coco Pelles, New Mexico koozie that I got from one of these houses.
Nice.
It's my first time using it. It is Coco Pelle Crazy.
It looks great.
So, yeah, the water sprinkler is assisting us on this broadcast today. And guys, what an episode to go out on for a little bit.
While Adam goes on paternity leave.
I feel like the randomizer has held us down and mushroom stamped the shit out of us for the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Charitably.
I'm just covered in welts.
But finally, the glacial dam burst and the randomizer gave us a gem. It's one that I've been wanting to watch ever since we even proposed doing this podcast.
4.5 years in, and finally it happened.
And I'm glad that the randomizer did it. You know, we got Bang from the Munchies, and it's fantastic to have the Munchies give us such a delightful episode as Bang. But there's something special about having the randomizer just roll it. It was the first roll, right? You didn't have to re-roll for that one, as I recall. Which is, it's really something, guys. And the episode we're talking about is Season 3, Episode 7, Sacrifice. And guys, this one kind of has it all.
It goes.
It's kind of ticking basically every box I can imagine. We'll see. After an awkward first date at Puffy's, Detective Steve Nathan hears gunshots coming from the alleyway, leaves his date, and runs to check it out. A man who Steve thinks he saw in the bar is slumped over with a bullet in his stomach. At the hospital, it appears as if the victim had been gang raped due to the copious fluids found inside the man, so he calls in SVU. After photographing the still unconscious victim, Bensler meets Phil Kastner, a homeless man who was found at the scene of the crime by Detective Nathan. Phil got a pretty good look at the shooter and his firearm, but his being a recovering heroin addict who lives on the streets means his testimony might not hold much water in front of a jury. The 3 different semen samples deposited in our very recognizable John Doe lead the unit to assume our Vic had been gang raped, possibly as part of some sadistic gay bashing. But this is just idle speculation, so Stablenson talked to the bartender at Puffy's, who says gay bashers look a lot more like Stabler than any of his customers, Still, he tells them the victim was passed a large envelope by a regular named Willem before he left alone. They track Willem down to the home of Ray Borland, where Willem works as his houseboy. He tells them that the man's name is Peter Ivanhoe and that he was paying him for a job, though he lawyers up and refuses to elaborate. Both Willem and Borland have prior arrests for selling drugs, so we can assume our guy was involved in that some way. Munch gets a hit from a decade-old missing persons case in Arkansas. The Vic's real name is Wesley Jansen, but he takes off from the hospital before the SVUs have a chance to interview him. Benzler track him to his apartment, where despite his obvious pain, he's packing to leave New York. He tells him he didn't see the guys who mugged him, but before he can answer Stabler's question about the multiple loads deposited in his butthole, the door opens... The door opens, and in walks Wesley's wife Jaina and daughter Mara. When the Jansen clan gets to the station so Wesley can provide a statement, he's met by the parents he ran away from 8 years ago, who are happier to see him than he is them. He tells B&E that he's bisexual, that he wasn't raped, and that he was hit from behind when he was attacked, so he never saw what happened. Meanwhile, Jaina feeds Munch a similar load of lies, saying she called the police to report Wesley missing when she clearly hadn't. Benson tries to get him to own up about being raped, but he isn't budging. Then he tells Stabler that Willem passed him an envelope full of cash for working on Ray Borland's house. The $4,500 was stolen during the mugging. Wesley then leaves just in time to prevent his wife and mother from getting in a big fight and ushers Jaina and Mara out of the station. Given that Wesley seems to be hiding the identity of his attackers and that Willem's DNA was deposited inside Wesley, the team brings in Ray Borland and his attorney for a chat. While Benson and Stabler get stonewalled, Munch and Finn convince Willem to open up. He tells them that he and Wesley both worked in gay porn. Borland finally opens up too and says he produces the films, and Wesley was very popular for his gay-for-pay scenes. Olivia head to Wesley's house only to find a neighbor who called an ambulance for him when she couldn't wake him up. She gives them a number for Jaina, but first they track Wesley to a hospital where he pleads with them not to involve his wife. Seeing as he doesn't give them any information, they are kind of forced to track her down, which they do to an Oman management company, which they barge into only to find Jaina about to film a rather outre homage to log jamming with two dudes in construction workers' outfits. The director, Cal Oman, is incensed that they ruined the shot, but when young Mara runs onto the set too, Jaina agrees to accompany the detectives downtown. She tells them that Mara has cystic fibrosis and requires constant care. Benabler agree to not charge her with endangering the welfare of a child, but they need her to help them find who tried to kill her husband, and she still refuses to talk, so they reinstate the charge. Thinking the porn shoots might be connected to the mob, B&E go check on director Cal Oman. Despite numerous charges for extortion and blackmail, he's never been convicted and says despite having mafia friends, he has no reason to want Wesley dead and was at the studio rehearsing a new girl named Delia Sarton when the shooting happened. Delia tells them that Cal lied about his alibi and is obsessed with Jaina, so after Jaina is arraigned, Benzler approached Wesley with the knowledge that Cal shot him, and next time it might be Mara or Jaina who is hurt. Wesley says he can't risk upsetting Oman because Mara will certainly suffer. They do porn to pay her medical bills, and he won't let Jaina leave. Munch and Finn find a post-relapse Phil in rehab and have him look up a photo lineup. He's jonesing super hard and at first doesn't remember the shooting, but when he looks at the pictures, he immediately fingers Oman. SWAT and the SVUs burst into Cal's production office only to find him dead from a gunshot wound to the back. With Wesley's prints on the murder weapon, the team goes looking for the Jansens who have fled their apartment, so the next stop is his parents' hotel where they find Wesley explaining the details of Mara's care before he goes to the station with Benson and Stabler. He tells them that his parents took out a second mortgage to help pay for Mara's care so Jaina wouldn't have to shoot the 300-dude gangbang scene in Vegas anymore, so he went to Cal's office to try and reason with him. He says Cal pulled a gun, they struggled, and it went off. Since the evidence doesn't support this theory, they demand to know where Jaina is and finally to stop lying. He says he shot Cal to get Jaina off of the one-way descent into becoming a gangbang freak show, but that he didn't want Cal to die. Wesley pleads guilty and is remanded. Outside the courtroom, Wesley's father tells Benabler that his son couldn't have shot Oman and that it must have been Jaina's fault, who has not been seen by anyone since the shooting. Crime Lab thinks the gun might have been wiped clean before Wesley's prints were put on it, so they find Jaina as she's leaving her apartment bound for that great Vegas gangbang, followed, hopefully, by a big-time career in LA. They tell her that they know Wes didn't shoot Cal and that they need to do a gunshot residue test on her hands, which will prove she pulled the trigger. She says she had to shoot him to protect herself and that she let Wesley take the fall because he offered to, but that she can't live with their in-laws because they live in Arkansas, which sucks. So Jaina is arrested, Wesley is released, and we are left with are we certain that one of those mystery loads inside Wesley was not deposited by Principal Belding? Dick Wolf.
We're not.
It's left unstated.
Especially if you've seen what ended up happening to Principal Belding in It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
What happens to him?
He's the gym teacher that's accused of molesting Charlie and the McPoyle brothers. And that's the episode where Mac's like taking out a picture of his young self and like, look at this guy. Look at this kid. Why didn't he get molested?
Oh, that's so good. Oh, that's beautiful. So obviously, Josh, this episode has stars.
Yes, stars.
Doing things.
Doing stuff. I don't know that we've had a stunt castier episode than this. We've had ones that maybe match this, but they don't go past this.
Well, I just think that there's like an upper limit, right?
This is the upper limit.
It's like the escape velocity, right? Like you can't go faster than the escape velocity.
This has reached terminal velocity here.
Yeah. This episode is currently orbiting an Earth right now.
Yes.
It's amazing. Because this one, again, it not only has like one like mega stunt cast, like a total like childhood breaking stunt cast, but it has another one too.
Yes. Yeah. She has been in Wet Hot American Summer at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
super fun.
Yeah, it's great. It's so good. I guess she didn't really blow up until after this, right?
Well, she'd been in Wet Hot, so
this was her ascent. This was mid-ascent.
Yeah, this is in the ascent.
Okay.
But the ascent kind of hasn't stopped.
It's true.
So guest stars. We've talked about Rob Bartlett playing attorney Milton Schoenfeld. That was in 167. The whole point of the thong is that you don't make the panty line. Season 2, episode 3, Closure Part 2. Kevin Gear is playing Phil Kastner here, the junkie witness.
He's great.
He was playing Mr. Walsh in episode 93. They still managed to wedge some racism, but it's a little too professional, where we were talking about season 13, episode 6, True Believers. He was also Chief Gabriel in Townhouse Incident, one of the worst episodes we've done.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That one, not good.
We've seen Lucy Martin, who's playing Judge Wendy Kramer here. Really weird way to spell Wendy, but whatever. Wende. We saw her playing Bitsy Rabbler in 105. Oh, they'll sexualize anyone in a really terrible way.
She was the one being sexualized.
She was being sexualized there. Yep. This judge was 11 years later. That was season 14, episode 24, Her Negotiation. I believe we see her in her bra and panties strung up by an extension cord in a closet. She was also Mrs. Layden, the next door neighbor of Brandy in Possessed.
I think do we get one more episode with her?
I believe we do, yeah. We've already talked about John Hartman playing the clerk. That was in 175. That is Not Safe Candling. We're discussing season 3, episode 10, Ridicule. That was the second time we did Ridicule. And we've already talked about Ed Bogdanovich, who's playing policeman. We saw him playing ESU in 152. I Gave Your Mom a Guardian Ad Litem End Around. Discussing season 5, episode 9, Sick. First up, Mark Paul Gosselaar.
America's sweetheart.
He's playing Wesley Jansen / Peter Ivanhoe.
The governor of California.
Is he the governor in the Saved by the Bell news stuff?
In the new Saved by the Bell.
Yeah. In the newest iteration. Yeah. So he was born in Panorama City in LA, but he was born to Paula, a hostess for KLM and a homemaker, and Hans Gossler, a plant supervisor for Anheuser-Busch. He's the youngest of 4 and was the only one of his siblings not born in the Netherlands. His father was of German and Dutch Jewish descent, with his great-grandparents being killed in a camp during World War II. His mother was Indonesian. She was Balinese. His parents separated. His mother was his manager as he started modeling and commercial acting starting when he was 5. He first gained fame when Saved by the Bell was adapted from the canceled Disney Channel sitcom Good Morning, Miss Bliss, which I'm sure Adam remembers as well as I do.
I do not. I never saw that show.
It was the first season where it was Haley Mills was the teacher. They showed it in reruns.
Yeah, no, I was reading about it, but I somehow completely missed that show. I remember the name of it, but I don't remember the show at all.
The only characters that were on that were Screech, Lisa, and Zach.
Everybody else was cast later.
Yeah, Slater, Kelly, and Jesse were all later. And Mr. Belding was on it, but he was still the principal. But Haley Mills did not come back for Saved by the Bell after it was canceled. So he was main cast in Good Morning, Miss Bliss and Saved by the Bell. And then Saved by the Bell, the college years, Hyperion Bay, DC, NYPD Blue, Raising the Bar, Franklin and Bash, Truth Be Told, Pitch, The Passage, Mixed-ish, and Found. He had recurring roles in Over There, Commander-in-Chief, John from Cincinnati, CSI, Nobodies, Saved by the Bell, the reboot, and Will Trent.
Oh, there's Drew.
He was in the films Saved by the Bell, Hawaiian Style, For the Love of Nancy, Saved by the Bell, Wedding in Las Vegas, Specimen, She Cried No, Freshman Hall, Counterfeit with a K, Dying to Belong, Born into Exile, Dead Man on Campus, 12 Dates of Christmas, Heist, Precious Cargo, Kid 90, and The Portrait. I've seen 4 of the last 7 movies that he was in.
And what's your general assessment of them?
Pretty great. Yeah, I saw Dead Man on Campus, 12 Dates at Christmas. I might have seen Heist, but I don't remember. Precious Cargo, Kid 90. So it might be 5, but it's definitely 4.
Okay, nice.
Kid 90's a doc. Kid 90's actually good. He's a sports car enthusiast, race car driver, track cyclist, competitive track cyclist.
Huh, okay.
Dirt biker and pilot. He's also a Brazilian jiu-jitsu purple belt.
Of course he's into BJJ.
Of course he's
Makes sense.
Guy. Yeah. He is married to former model Lisa Ann Russell from 1996 to 2010. They have 2 kids. He's been married to ad exec Katrina McGinn since I think it's 2012. I didn't write down the date, but I'm pretty sure it's that. They have 2 kids together.
Nice.
Next up, Elizabeth Banks playing Jaina Jansen. She's born and raised in Pittsfield, Mass. She's the eldest of 4, born to Anne, maiden name Wallace, and Mark Mitchell. Her mom worked in a bank. Her Vietnam vet dad worked at the GE factory. She graduated from Pittsfield High School and then graduated magna cum laude from University of Pennsylvania.
Good for her.
Yeah, it's an Ivy.
Yeah.
She majored in communications and minored in theater. Then she got her MFA from the American Conservatory Theater in San Francisco. She started Brownstone Productions with her husband, Max Handelman, way back in 2002. She's in the films, and this is a very long list, and I've seen almost all of them.
Yeah, it's a lot.
The 2000 iteration of Shaft, Wet Hot American Summer, Spider-Man, Swept Away, Catch Me If You Can, Seabiscuit, Spider-Man 2, Heights, The Baxter, The 40-Year-Old Virgin, Slither, Invincible, Spider-Man 3, Fred Claus, Definitely Maybe, Meet Dave, Lovely Still, W, Zack and Miri Make a Porno, Role Models, The Uninvited, The Next 3 Days, Our Idiot Brother, Man on a Ledge, The Hunger Games, People Like Us, Pitch Perfect, Movie 43, The Hunger Games Catching Fire, Lego Movie, Walk of Shame, Love and Mercy, The Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 1, Pitch Perfect 2, Magic Mike XXL, which is fucking awesome, The Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 2, Power Rangers, Pitch Perfect 3, The Happy Time Murders, The Lego Movie 2, the second part, Brightburn, Charlie's Angels, the 2019 iteration, Call Jane, The Beanie Bubble, A Mistake, Skincare, and Dreamquill. She started directing features like full-length features in 2015, taking the reins of Pitch Perfect 2 after producing the first one. She also directed part of movie 43 and then all of the 2019 Charlie's Angels and Cocaine Bear.
So basically, like, her dreams of stardom that she has as this character in this episode, they come true.
Oh, for sure. I mean, she's a queen maker.
Yeah.
Like, she got handed the Charlie's Angels reboot.
Uh-huh.
You know, she's in all the Hunger Games movies, except for, obviously, the prequel.
No, she's in everything.
She produced all the Pitch Perfects, which the first one is a monster hit. And the second one was a big hit, too. But the first one was gigantic.
Yeah. So we should do Slither or Magic Mike XXL for November.
Magic Mike XXL. 100%. Magic Mike XXL is fucking awesome. You're going to love it. No, it's so good. I'm dead serious. It's so good.
Nice.
And that'll be 2 straight Andy McDowell movies.
Excellent. Maybe we'll just become an Andy McDowell podcast. I mean, we don't have Patricia Charbonneau anymore.
Yeah, we can't. Yeah, we're out of Patricia Charbonneau. Like, well, we're not out. We can keep watching Patricia Charbonneau movies. We should just be an Andy McDowell and Patricia Charbonneau podcast. So she was main cast in Comanche Moon, which piques my interest, and I'm going to watch very soon because that's the only... I have to read the book first. That's the last of the Gus and Lonesome Dove series that I have.
The Lonesome Dove stuff, the McMurtry shit.
Yeah. She's main cast in that, Comanche Moon.
Yeah.
Wet Hot American Summer, First Day of Camp. Moonbeam City. Wet Hot American Summer 10 years later. And Mrs. America. She is the host of Press Your Luck. She has recurring roles or was in multiple episodes of Scrubs, Rainy Days, American Dad, Modern Family, 30 Rock, and The Muppets. She is married to Max Handelman, who she met on her first day of college.
Wow. Still married? It's amazing.
Still married.
Yeah.
She had 2 children via surrogacy, and this is a point of she apparently has caught a lot of flack for this, but it's due to infertility issues. So if you're complaining about her having a surrogate, go fuck yourselves.
Yeah, go fuck yourself. I mean, people, they're very judgy. I know that one can adopt, but everybody has different reasons for doing stuff.
Sure.
So don't cancel people for that.
Yeah, fuck that shit.
There's plenty of, like, awful things out there.
Let's worry about some more important things than whether or not Elizabeth Banks is having a surrogate for vanity purposes versus whatever.
Yeah.
Or I mean, it's more complicated than vanity. I don't even want to boil that down to that. But
sure.
Anyway. Next up, Tom Gilroy playing Cal Oman.
Yeah.
And I did look into the last name just to make sure, because obviously it's a country and it kind of...
There's a couple last names that struck me as odd in this one.
But Oman is is like an English-Scottish name too. Surname. Yeah.
That makes sense.
Anyway, he's a director, writer, actor, producer, playwright, poet, musician, and teacher. He operates the theater company Machine Full. He's taught at Columbia and Davidson. He wrote and directed the films Spring Forward and The Coldlands, along with the REM video for It Happened Today. I think it's 2011. After having been in their video for Half a World Away 20 years earlier, he's apparently very good friends with Michael Stipe.
Oh, nice.
Which, cool in my book.
Yeah, good for them.
Yeah. He's in the films A Matter of Degrees, Postcards from America, Land and Freedom, Girls Town, Ratchet, Inside Out, Spark, Claire Dolan, Getting to Know You, Bread and Roses, Series 7, The Contenders, Everyday People, Sweetland, Wild Tigers I Have Known, The World Made Straight, Houses, and Tom's Dilemma. He had recurring roles in Third Watch and 100 Center Street. He's in 1 episode of the original series. Then we've got Joseph Murphy playing Ray Borland. We saw him playing Keith Gerard all the way back. In 26, they're not going to de-sex Hargitay for the sake of an undercover operation. Talking season 4, episode 12, Risks, so like a year later.
Yeah.
He's in the films The Brave, Time Quest, Anything But Love, and Nothing But the Truth. He had recurring roles in Guiding Light, Rescue Me, and All My Children. He's in 3 episodes of the original series. Then we've got Mia Dillon playing Mrs. Jansen, Wesley's mom, Zack Morris's mom. She was born in Colorado Springs, graduated from Marple Newtown Senior High School in Newtown Square, Pennsylvania. She made her Broadway debut as an understudy in Peter Shaffer's Equus in 1977. She was a Drama Desk Award nominee in 1980 and was nominated for a Tony in 1982. She's in the films The Money Pit, Gods and Generals, Dwayne Hopwood, All Good Things, Ordinary World, April Flowers, Never, Rarely, Sometimes, Always, and Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. She had recurring roles in The Jury and Brain Dead. She's in 4 episodes of the original series. She is married to Keir Dullea, who is Dave from 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Nice.
They've been married since 1999.
Huh. Nice.
Then we've got Dylan Chalfie playing Willem Mueller. He was born in New York City. He's in the films Chinese Puzzle and Cold Comes the Night. He had recurring roles in Oz and Rescue Me. He's in 1 episode of Conviction and 3 episodes of the original series. He's been married to Sarah Chalfie since 2006. They have 1 child together. Then we've got Fernando Lopez playing CSU Tech Ramon Vargas. We saw him playing this character back in episode 36. He let Ed teabag him, right? We're talking season 3, episode 13, Prodigy. He's in the films Killer Instinct, Frankie and Johnny, 13 Conversations About One Thing, and Got Papers. He had a recurring role in The City and in One Life to Live. He's in 2 episodes of New York Undercover, 4 episodes of the original series, 1 Criminal Intent, and 5 more SVUs that we've yet to see. Then we've got Joseph Lattimore playing Steve Nathan. He's a Chicago native, former college quarterback. He's in the films Little Big League, which I remember him in.
Yeah.
Outbreak, Lord of Illusions, Devil in a Blue Dress, The American President, Down Periscope, and Dogman. He was main cast in Public Morals and had recurring roles in The Beat and The Night Of. He's in 1 episode of New York Undercover, 2 episodes of the original series, 1 Criminal Intent, and 1 Organized Crime. Then we've got John Corkes, who's playing Terrence Moore. He was born in New York City. He's an alumnus of Stella Adler's Studio of Acting. He's in the films The Out-of-Towners, the original one. Catch-22. Yeah, that Catch-22 with Art Garfunkel. Little Murders. The Outside Man. The Day of the Dolphin. The Front Page of the remake, obviously, from the 70s, not the original from the 30s. 2-Minute Warning, Between the Lines, Worth Winning, Riding Cars with Boys, and The Double, which was directed by Richard Ayoade and is great. He had recurring roles in Starsky and Hutch. Yep, Starsky and Hutch. The Word, and Oz. He's in 1 Homicide, 1 episode of the original series, and 1 Criminal Intent. Then we've got Luke Riley playing Chester Jansen. He is born in New York City. He's in the films Kent State, Nighthawks, Bye Bye Blues, Stepping Out, and Zebrahead. He had recurring roles in One Life to Live, Texas, Another World, As the World Turns, The Commish, The Human Factor, Imaginary Crimes, Private Parts, Dancer in the Dark, Town Diary, and The Dead Don't Hurt. He's in 4 episodes of the original series. Then Hazel Medina is playing the sassy nurse. She was born in Cologne, Panama. She is in the films Watermelon Man, Women in Chains, Limbo, Cry Rape, Longtime Companion, Malcolm X, The Point of Betrayal, Music of the Heart, and I Think I Love My Wife. She's in 4 episodes of the original series. She was married to actor Jerry Matz from 1981 until her death on Valentine's Day, 2012, where she died for reasons related to having multiple myeloma. Then James Andrew O'Connor is playing Kenny. He's the roommate in the hospital. Yeah. We saw him playing Jake in 129. Man, this one really suffers from my own Special Victims Unit derangement syndrome. Talking season 4, episode 23, Grief, the Joe Morgan episode. He was raised in the Bronx. He started performing on stage at Fordham Prep High School and got a degree in theater at the College of the Holy Cross, and then studied at the National Shakespeare Conservatory. He's in the films The Immaculate Misconception, Man on a Ledge, Baby Girl, Before I Disappear, St. Vincent, Time Out of Mind, The Greatest Showman, and Crown Vic. He had recurring roles in White Collar, Gotham, and Hightown. He's in 1 episode of the original series, 1 Trial by Jury, 1 Chicago PD, and 2 more SVUs, as I believe different characters. Definitely different characters. Yep. He's been married to Tammy Nally since 2009. And then we've got Fenton Lawless playing Buck. He's in the films Stonewall, I Shot Andy Warhol, Ghosts of Mississippi, Air Force One, Harlem Aria, Random Hearts, Piggy, Before We Go, The Post, Private Life, and The Climb. And then last one, Heather McRae playing Landlady.
Yeah.
We saw her playing Andrea Mason in 37. Our job is to sit there and enjoy it. Season 3, episode 15, Execution. She was born in New York City. Her parents were actors Sheila and Gordon McRae. Her sister Meredith was also an actress, having been in the main cast of My Three Sons and Petticoat Junction.
All right.
Yep. She's done quite a bit of stage work. She's in the films Everything You Always Wanted to Know About Sex But Were Afraid to Ask,
Yeah.
Bang the Drums Slowly, A Perfect Couple, Life of Mikey, The Namesake, The Assistant, and The Sixth Reel. She had a recurring role in A World Apart, Muggsy, Starsky and Hutch, and Clarissa Explains It All. Two
Same
different Starsky and Hutch.
I
Yeah.
know.
And then she's been married to Christopher Hughes, I believe, since 1987. That's it. So notes.
Yeah, no.
The episode.
What a fucking episode, man. This is one of those all-timers, right?
Yeah.
Like,
For sure.
it really fills me with joy the way it filled Zack Morris with men's
Copious
semen.
fluids. So we start at Puffy's NYC.
Yeah, puppies.
Not a love connection. And then the guy wants to go to a piano bar, which I would assume will not change things.
That is a boner kill, right? Like,
Yes.
I'm sorry. Puppies, great. Piano bar, not really Detective Nathan's scene.
Now, if you were a gay man on the dating scene circa 2002, at a bar as happening as Puffy's NYC.
Yeah, which clearly had a good scene.
Yeah, oh, for sure. Would you be worried if your date was packing heat?
A little bit, I would think. But maybe he already knew that Steve was a detective. Maybe they had talked about that.
Maybe.
It's not really the kind of bar that you go to and talk, though. It seemed like it was probably pretty loud. It was more like a grind your way up to the bar to get another pink panty dropper or whatever before you you head back.
I
to...
don't think that's the drink there, probably. But
whatever.
Pink boxer dropper?
Your buttery navel or whatever.
Pink
know.
bikini brief dropper?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Did they have bikini briefs back then?
Yes, for sure. They absolutely did.
Oh,
have.
bikini briefs. Yeah, I'm thinking of boxer briefs.
Maybe not boxer briefs, but bikini briefs, yes.
Yeah.
Now, our off-duty officer who's strapped hears a gunshot and comes running around the corner, and he finds Phil, who sleeps here, over the body.
Who's a little too clean to be sleeping in the alleyway.
Well, because he is clean. He's 64 days clean.
Yeah, and 75 seconds or whatever. But it doesn't last. His sobriety. This case takes out his sobriety.
Sure. So here we find out that there are copious fluids.
Copious fluids.
Yes.
They say that there are 3 different blood types, but at this point, we could imagine that there could have been multiple O-positive dudes.
3 blood types doesn't mean
Doesn't
that there
mean
aren't
3
multitudinous loads.
Loads. Because what you got you got A, B, O, and AB, right? And so you got 8 different potential blood types. Like, it stands to reason that you could double up at least. Maybe the Borland production, like, they specifically look for O-positive dudes, right?
I love the sort of slow reveal where they're looking over the Vic on the gurney and the camera sort of comes around the gurney.
Oh, yeah.
And we see, the camera is like...
When he's slumped in the alleyway, you can kind of, like, get, like, a familiar nose line,
Yeah, but that's it. It's pretty dark.
But it's dark. There's just there's a key light.
If you don't know that it's happening, like if you were watching this in 2002 and hadn't seen a trailer and or it's 2001, whatever the fuck it is.
2001.
2001.
Yeah. You're wandering in because after the song ends and you haven't looked at the credits.
Well, no, this is still cold open.
You're right. This is still cold open. So
we've got the Vic on the gurney. We see the wedding ring. We hear them talking about he was at a gay bar.
Yeah.
We've already had established that the fluids
There's
from other men are in his butt.
Copious
fluids.
Yeah.
Yep. And then the camera lifts over.
And holy shit.
Zack Morris's motherfucking face.
It sure is. Straight from the Max. Straight from Bayside High.
We're a long way from Bayside High here, folks. So, just to get this out of the way, Wesley Jansen is very uncooperative for pretty much the whole episode.
All of the Jansens are uncooperative.
Yeah. And I'm going to kind of skip over that stuff, I think, because I don't think that's super interesting. That's not what's fun about this episode. Because they are, like, it's just...
They're stonewalling.
The victims are the obstruction.
Exactly. And the way they've set up this episode is that the reason they're obstructing is because they think that if they don't, then the dominoes are going to fall.
They're between a rock and a hard place. And it makes sense that they wouldn't be forthcoming with any of this information.
Sure. Yeah.
So my notes don't really service that a lot because I'm not wild about that element of the episode.
I mean, it's fine.
But that's the one thing that kind of keeps it from being a 10 out of 10.
You think? I mean, it's like slightly
it's also
annoying,
it doesn't have the fallout. It's not going to be.
It doesn't have the fallout. It
doesn't have the depth and breadth of Lives Ruined that a perfect 10 does. It definitely hits 10s hard, and 2 of the areas are 10s.
Yeah, 2 of the areas are 10s without question.
Yeah. And the other ones are, it's fun enough. Anyway, we're getting way ahead of ourselves.
Yeah, I know. It's fun enough, but you're right. Like, it isn't super fun because the biggest problem is that we keep coming back to that, right?
Right.
Like their obstructionism, it's not just like something that's established that then changes. It's like the episode keeps coming back to that. And and
Zack Morris has the same scene 3 times.
Yeah, exactly.
So, anyway.
That's
right. Why we're sort of going to gloss over that as we go through.
We're picking nits here because it's still like one of the most fun episodes you can watch.
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah. So they're interviewing Phil, the eyewitness, in the alley, and he's been clean for 64 days. Finn still has him tested.
A little before this, Stabler, I think it's kind of the where Stabler offers to keep Detective Nathan in the closet. And he's like, oh, the brass already knows about this.
Yeah. Stabler, like, looking out for him, which is...
Yeah, it's nice. Yeah. Good for him.
Yeah. But Phil's been clean for 64 days, and he sleeps in that alley because the gays, they treat me human. So I stay there when I can't find a bed. Love that he's calling them the gays.
They treat me human.
Really? I mean, just such a fun sentence.
But, like, Phil is a very developed character in this. I think.
It's really weird to have a junkie be this. I mean, he was a master sergeant at Paris Island.
I know. And that gives him magical powers of gun recognition. Like, they're like, okay, well, that's how you know. We now believe you because you're in the Marines. You're a Marine just like Stabler for life.
Yeah. Let's
show off our forearms. Our forearm tats.
Okay, so we've got weird tension between Finn and Liv after she says she's glad his narco experience is coming in handy.
It's a very weird Finn episode because I don't really understand what the tension is here and like why he's mad at her.
Right. It must be carryover from the episode before, which I didn't even look into because whatever. That's not what we do here.
No, that's not why we watch this episode.
The episode before this is, I feel like we've seen, Redemption.
Is this season 24? We don't care about what's before.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't really know what's going on here, why there's this weird, like, narcotics tension, especially, like, this far into, he's been on the show for a full season now.
Yeah, exactly.
So why? But whatever. Yep. I mean, maybe it's set up. We just don't have a frame of reference for it.
I'm digging Finn's look. He's wearing, like, a light, kind of like tan leather jacket, but, like, a thin one. It's a look. Definitely not one I would pull off, but one.
No, neither of us can pull that off.
In 2001,
and we couldn't have pulled that off in 2002 either. 2001, sorry.
No.
So they go to the bar to try to figure out what happened, and
to Puffy's NYC.
And the bartender says that gay bashers look a lot like Elliot, which probably isn't far from the
accurate. Yeah. But this is not a gay bashing episode.
Here's my first real problem with the episode. They ask about Willem, and the bartender says his address is, check the credit card receipts. You know what's not on credit card receipts?
But they could get his information from the credit card receipts.
Not his address, though.
No, but they could track him down through that. It would take a little bit of time.
It would take a lot longer than it takes in this episode.
Yeah, but SVU, they magically do police work in SVU. The things that should take weeks take like mere moments in SVU.
Sure. But like without a warrant, credit card companies are not forking over their user's address and personal information.
But you know
It's
who
not
was forking, Josh? Willem was forking over
Sure.
young Wesley.
You mean Ray Borland's houseboy? Fun shit. Ray Borland says he doesn't recognize a Vic.
Which, of course, Ray Borland looks skeezy enough, and
One look at Ray Borland and you're like, that guy knows the Vic.
he has a houseboy. He knows the Vic.
He's probably one of those multitudinous loads.
Most likely.
So Wesley Jansen, we find out he ran away from Cedar Creek, Arkansas in 1993 at the age of 17.
You look into Cedar Creek at all?
I sure did.
Nice.
It is unincorporated.
Oh, okay.
Highly unlikely that both Wesley and Jana could have been from there, because when you zoom in on the map, there are no
There's
streets.
not much there.
There's nothing there. It's a stretch of highway in between other stretches of highway.
And to find these two extremely attractive, good actors
Exactly.
coming from there, from a single intersection in Arkansas.
You know what else they don't have? They don't have a police department. There's no fucking way they have a police department. All right, so Borland's been picked up a couple times for moving weight.
Yeah.
Um,
Willem, too.
yeah, Willem too.
Willem and his copious chest hair spent some time in Austining.
Yeah,
We find
he's
out.
got
He's it's chest hair forward. It's really, he's flaunting it.
I mean, as two men who can be chest hair forward, I'm a fan.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm proud of it. I mean, that's...
Normalize it.
Yeah.
All right, so the nurse is not having any drama over the John Doe walking upon hearing the cops were coming. Like, he's going to come back in with sepsis. Who cares?
If he stays out for too long, he's going to die.
Yeah. But yeah, she's super matter of fact.
She's probably right.
She is right, because he comes back in like the next day.
Well, and she's at the, like, where the people with no insurance get dumped.
Yeah.
They don't have time for these fucking cops. Like, it's your job to fucking find him, not mine.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm about to spend a few nights at one of those hospitals. I'm excited.
So then they go visit Wesley, and he is not forthcoming with any information about getting shot in the gut. So they bring him in for questioning, and when he gets in, having had Jana and Mara show up also while they're there, they all come into the precinct, and they walk in the door, and Cragen's like, hey, when they get here, fucking flag them down. And so the Jansens have come to New York.
Yeah.
They're Arkansasing all over New York.
I don't remember Mrs. Jansen's accent, but Dad's laying it on thick when he finally speaks.
Sure.
He's usually just standing there looking confused in the corner, but when he does speak, it's backcountry.
Yeah.
It's downright Ozarkian.
I know he's from New York, if I remember correctly.
The dad.
Yeah, he was born in New York City. She was born in Colorado Springs. She graduated from high school in Newtown Square, Pennsylvania. So the parents come out of Cragen's office, and Mom comes to hug her. Like, she has to know he was shot, right?
And she just goes to squeeze his ass. And he is...
And she goes high, but like... So
still.
she's not like doing an abdominal.
But still, to go
squeeze,
high
but-
because she's
That's
shorter
worse,
than he
honestly.
is. Yeah, exactly.
She is not 6 feet tall or whatever the fuck Mark.
No, and
Knopfler
she's not
is.
giving him just like the little like tap, oh, I miss you, son. And she's like, I'm going to squeeze you because
I missed you so much.
you ran away with that slut. Their words, not mine.
He's only 5'11". Who do you think is the tallest of the Saved by the Bell cast members?
Jesse Spano. I'm willing to bet serious money that Elizabeth Berkley's the tallest one of the main cast.
She's not.
She's not.
She's
Belding?
Mario Lopez's height.
Okay.
So she's 5'10".
Screech?
It is Screech.
Really? Man, R.I.P.
He's
Screech.
6 feet.
The rest of them all did quite well in one way or another. Screech did not.
I'm always surprised that Lark Voorhees didn't do better.
Yeah, I know what you mean, but still, like, at least didn't have weird sex tapes that she released.
Or
to
celebrity
try to
boxing
gain
matches.
relevance. Yeah, exactly.
All right, so Mom can't tell that he can't handle her hugging.
Even though he tells her, Mom, I got shot.
Yeah. So one of them says, you're hiding something and we're trying to help you. And this is the point of the episode where I'm like, I don't know that they're actually helping here.
Who, the police or?
The SVUs.
Yeah, well, that's often the case.
Yeah.
But in this one, you'd think...
Well, it's much more often the case in a War and Light season.
Sure.
Yeah.
In this one, the way that they're dealing with this, it like does scream kind of like, oh, the mob's going to kill the kid, right?
Yeah.
That's what's going on. The mob wants to kill the kid. So it kind of seems like maybe it's above their pay grade. Like, yes, there's stuff going on here, but we need to have a season-long expose. We need to bring in our FBI guys. And maybe Cal Omen needs to escape at the very end by, getting his own FBI guy to poison the investigation so he can put on a fake nose and get in a shipping container or something.
Yeah.
Something along those lines. It's definitely got like season 2 Wire vibes,
Big time.
We need Stabler to be caught in flagrante delicto with multiple Ukrainian ladies to further the investigation.
Yeah. Cheerio. Do you think that Ray Borland is Al Borland's brother from Home Improvement?
Yeah, good question.
I bet he is.
It makes sense.
Yeah. His slightly more successful but much sketchier brother.
Is he sketchier though? Yeah, we could have gotten some JTT on this. They ran to a city where predators know a victim when they see one. If there's one pithy line that describes SVU, it's that.
So she said she called the police to report him missing, but got told she needed to wait 48 hours. Then Much asked what precinct she called. Now, if she just called 911. You don't call a precinct.
Well,
you'd go in if you went in, sure, but...
But then she would have just said, I called 911.
Exactly.
I mean, maybe they would have referred her to an actual officer.
Sure, but I wouldn't have remembered what precinct it was.
Yeah, but basically all he's doing is going like, well, tell me exactly what happened. And she didn't tell him exactly what happened. She wasn't like, no, I called and this is what they said. She was like, oh, you got me. You got me in that one.
Then we find out that he had $4,500 that was stolen when he got mugged, which is a bummer.
Yeah, it is a bummer.
It's a lot of cash.
Yeah, it's a lot of cash to walk around with in the alleyway, especially when your daughter's basically choking to death every day.
Right.
Which we find out soon.
Mrs. Jansen kind of sucks.
Mrs. Jansen.
The mother.
I mean, to be fair, Jaina kind of sucks too. And I think the mother's reacting to Jaina destroying her beautiful boy's life.
Disagree. Jaina's great. Willem Mueller's DNA matches with one of the 3 samples pulled from Wesley's butt.
Yeah,
or with one of the samples. There might be more than 3. There's
a couple plot holes that I really wanted sewn up.
Yeah, but here's where we find out that Zack Morris is gay for pay at $1,500 a bang, which is pretty great.
It was one of the best group scenes they'd ever shot, Josh.
Oh, one of the best. And I want to see it.
Gay on straight sells.
Yep. Wong thinks that him being gut shot means it was personal.
Yeah.
Then Wesley gets taken off in an ambo. He still won't say a word, though.
You're right. I mean, now that I'm thinking about it, because I only did watch this once. If I was watching it a second time...
I felt like it the first time, though. Like that's
No,
why
I did too. Yeah. And just, I'm thinking about it now. If I had watched it a second time, it would have really kind of worn on me. And it does.
I mean, it's definitely a thing that tends to bother both of us.
Well, it's just the plot's not moving forward. It's just being stuck.
We're just spinning the wheels in mud. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But like...
Or spinning the wheel in copious amount of fluids that were deposited in Zack Morris's butt.
Like, that's great. And honestly, every time it's not Elliot and fucking Olivia trying to get one of the Jansens to like open up about what's going on, great things are happening.
Yeah. They needed to construct a plot where there were more viable red herrings instead of having us go back to this like obstruction from the 2 ostensible victims until the end, the 2 ostensible victims.
Which is like, we get it quickly, right? Like there could have been more there. Like Bang doesn't do this, right? Bang is constantly moving forward. Like we are opening
well, because there are
rooms.
like 100 children.
But we're opening hotel rooms into like things we never thought possible on the show.
Right. The guest star stealing the real life co-star in this scene from her real life about to be husband in a marriage that lasted 3 months.
What was going on in the dressing room after that scene? We can imagine that in that, right?
We know because he poked holes in the condom and then used them. Allegedly.
You're right. and I mean, you're right. You're right. Like, this isn't have that kind of construction. It's not like Possessed.
Or Wet.
Think about Possessed, right? How many child actors do we see, like, their careers just, like, nipped?
It's like 8 of 12.
In the bud. Yeah. But then, like, the one that continued acting
is this year's, like, second biggest pop star.
Yeah, no, what the fuck?
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. Anyway. So, I love the Cal Oman film shoot setup.
Oh, my God. I had to watch it, like, 4 times.
Yeah.
Because we don't get to see it long enough, but...
That's all it took, Adam?
But, holy shit. We got... I mean, let's describe this
I watched
scene.
it 15 times, Adam.
You like set up your computer to just loop it over and over again, just so you could see Elizabeth Banks like rolling back and forth. What is she?
I clipped it and then I edited it into like a long loop on.
Yeah, you threw it onto Resolve. Yeah. Was she using one of those like workout things, or is it like a rolling pin? I couldn't. That's the one thing I didn't notice.
She was using an ab roller.
Yeah, it's an ab roller, right?
Yeah. But this shoot's great. Now. The shoot's great. The actress who couldn't corral Mara, not so great.
Come on, man. Not cool. You're blowing up everybody's spot here.
You can't keep a kid off a live set, really? Like, you can't give a kid... This is 2001. You know how much a soda cost?
Like 25 cents. If you got Dr. Thunder,
if it's 20 ouncer, it's $1. If it's a can,
okay.
It's 50 cents.
It's 50 cents, but you could get like Dr. Thunder for 25 cents in those days, you know.
Do you really think that they had the Sam's Club off-brand sodas in a machine at the Oman management? No, they only go for the finest. This is 50-cent cans, brother. Dr. Thunder.
Love putting Dr. Thunder in my mouth.
Big time. I mean, Dr. Thunder for the name obviously makes sense.
Yeah.
But it's off-brand. They're not going to slum it there.
Some of that off-brand shit is not that bad.
So Jane is going to get charged with child endangerment.
Wait. We haven't talked about the set enough. There's weird shit going on in this this set. Because there's like, fake carrots and cucumbers like dangling from the walls. Sure, that's fine. But what's going on with like the Venetian carnival masks?
I mean, we know what's going to happen with those.
I mean, we know what's going to happen with the fake fruit, sure. But what's going on with the masks? It's like an Eyes Wide Shut thing. But why do they have them in the middle of like, you know, like Miss America's kitchen while those dudes are going to logjam her?
You think that Miss America isn't at one of the Eyes Wide Shut parties?
Oh, the music was so good in that. That's my favorite part of that music. The pianos, right?
So my buddy John, who might listen to this, I went to Eyes Wide Shut with him. Mm-hmm. He started laughing uncontrollably like the second or third time that happened. And when we get out of the movie, he's like, it's like a fucking basset hound was playing the piano.
I know. I love it. It's great. It's my favorite thing about that movie.
Like one or two notes. Really great shit.
Yeah.
So, despite being threatened with child endangerment, Jaina and Wesley won't budge, which should tell the SVUs all they need to know.
There's another thing that's kind of annoying in this, as far as just like plot dynamics, is that there's a lot of times where they set up a situation and then immediately that situation falls apart. So, like, whether it's like Wesley runs away from the hospital, well, immediately we're at his apartment. Or they're going to let Jaina off from child endangerment. Well, immediately they're arresting her for that.
Sure.
I think that's annoying, slightly.
Yeah. No, agreed. Any tension, gone immediately.
Exactly. Yeah. Which, it's not great storytelling technique.
All right. So, Cal Oman claims to have been rehearsing one of the new girls and then says, quote, Jaina's gotten mileage. Who wants to be with a chick who's been with 100 guys?
So the one thing about like Cal Oman, his casting couch rape scene of Delia Sarton, it's like so much more believable how disgusting and awful that would be than the Ian McShane casting couch scene. Remember that we like, it just like doesn't track.
I mean, the notion of rehearsals for a porn set is funny. That like,
Well, everybody knows what that means, right? That's why it's funny that he's saying that, but it's like also disgusting.
But also like SVU doesn't do rehearsals. They should know that porn also doesn't do rehearsals.
Maybe that's the joke, right?
But I mean, we're meant to believe that Janet Jansen's a porn star. Like
well,
a star.
Janet Jansen's a porn star, but Delia Sarton's not. Delia Sarton's
But
still looking
he
for
says
a big
that this
break.
was like Jaina before and that she's trying to be like Jaina. And like if she's in business with this person and he's made her a star, you'd assume that there's a slightly higher level of professionalism, I guess. Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe I'm giving them too much credit. But SVU doesn't do rehearsals. I think that the SVUs on this should know that porn also doesn't do rehearsals.
Well, I think that it's a wink wink, like, oh, I was rehearsing her, meaning I was breaking her in.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I know that's the wink wink, but
Yeah.
the SVUs shouldn't accept that.
No, but they are trying to, they want to continue. They want to keep the door open.
Sure.
Keep the information flowing. Love what he says to Livia, though.
Oh,
You
sure.
ever thought about doing a movie? You look like you're real natural.
Yep. So then they track down Delia to confirm or deny his claim of an alibi. And she's jealous of Jaina's 300-man gangbang because it's going to get her on Stern. Now, I assume this is a nod to Jasmine St. Clair, who went on Stern in 1996 after doing a 300-guy gangbang.
Mm-hmm. Sounds plausible.
Now, in 1999, Houston, the actress, did 620 guys, which would have, I believe, been the closest world record to this episode recording.
Does Guinness keep a world record for gangbang?
No, but AVN might.
Okay.
But Houston was on Stern too, though that might not have been on Stern by this point. I know Jasmine St. Clair was. Stern had a meeting of all of the hundreds and hundreds of person gangbang actresses, and both Jasmine St. Clair and Houston were on it. But Jasmine St. Clair was on Stern in 96 specifically, with 300, which is the number given for Jaina.
Which is the number cited here.
Yeah.
And that was probably the first Howard Stern gangbang episode, I'm assuming.
Presumably, but the internet doesn't work, so you can't
You can't
100% verify
anymore.
this.
Yeah. I have reasons for why the internet doesn't work in a little bit, but we're not quite there yet.
Yeah. So when they're at the courthouse, I think
For Wesley's arraignment.
well, Wesley's out and he's wearing the jacket. He's wearing,
Oh, he's wearing the white jacket.
yeah, Mark Paul Gosselaar is wearing this ridiculous jacket that is so 2001 and looks like very bad.
It's very Zack. If like the Zack Morris character
If Zack
were
had
alive
fallen
in
into this
2001.
dark reality.
This character is really in this he's like floating between Zack and Jesse Pinkman, kind of, right, from Breaking Bad, and like it's something that Zack that's about to start.
Well, so you mean he's Jamie
wear.
Kennedy?
Yes, exactly.
So in this hilarious jacket, he throws a half-hearted
Very
punch at
half-hearted
Elliot that
punch.
is immediately.
Elliot immediately.
Like, do they only
grabs
have
him.
a take?
I mean, like, I don't know. Gosler's time is money, so he was like,
Yeah.
I'm not doing that again. But Stabler throws him against the wall,
Sure.
whispers in his ear, and says basically like,
I think he licks his earlobe here too. I'm not sure. I just like as this is going on, they just seem so dumb. The SVUs seem so stupid in this episode. Yeah.
Yeah, they do.
How can you not have read that this is what's going on? Fucking.
The only one that doesn't seem stupid is Finn, and he's just mad at Phil because he knows that Phil's going to disappoint him.
And
because
immediately, right after the scene, Phil has relapsed. And,
yeah.
And they have to go try to get the eyewitness ID from Phil, who is completely strung out at this point.
Okay. He's strung out and like tweaking, but immediately when he sees Cal Ullman's face, he says, 38 snub-nose revolver, brunette. And Calvert's like, oh, I can't take this. This isn't good. What the fuck, Cabot?
Right. Well, and Phil has to be corralled by Finn in that moment, but like, it's still
because Phil knows drug users.
Yeah.
He's from
so they go and raid the Oman management offices.
Great. This is where I got to slow you down here, because when they raid it, we can see some of the
posters.
posters for their films. We can see 3 posters that I could actually make out. 2 were for the same film, but one was in English and one was in German.
In German.
So there's 2 when they're walking in, and there's one like when they're panning over the body. And that's the English version.
The fonts were not great.
Not great. Hard to read. The first one is Ironbone Girls.
Yes. And it does not look like Ironbone Girls from the fonts.
Yeah.
Did you catch the tagline?
No, I didn't catch the tagline.
Hot teens have sex all night, ... in all ways.
In all ways? Which ways?
In all ways.
I got to tell you, the Ironbone Girls, the images of the people on that, they probably did not. Those were like, what we call like rights-free.
Oh, absolutely.
Pictures that they used.
Yeah.
They picked children for these photos. Like, I'm not talking like 18 years old.
Well, they're hot teens.
But they're like hot,
Adam, they're hot teens.
14-year-olds. Like, that's what they look like. Like, this is...
Okay, so maybe our department fail here. Now, the German one.
The German one. Well, they have an English version of this too, so I can read what it says a little bit easier, because the German one was giving me some Google fails also.
I figured out what it translates to. Roughly from German.
But so it's Hintereingang Bonza-Menschen is the name of the film.
Uh-huh.
Which means rear passage bonsai men, essentially.
No, Bonza is vain. So it's backdoor vain people.
Well, in the English version, the reason I say Bonza is Google Translate totally failed me. And so I Googled Bonza and nothing. It was totally...
It translates for that. I had to like... Yeah. Fuck around with it, but it translates. Okay. Bonza translates to vain, roughly.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so the English version was backdoor bonsai. So I think they just did not put bonsai. It should have been bonsai mention, but
it's bonsai mention.
I know, but it was the English one, which is above his body, because those are both on one wall, and then on the other wall there's just backdoor bonsai. Yeah. But it's the same photos. So I assume it's an anal Asian film, but I don't know that for certain.
Hintereingang is definitely backdoor.
It sure is.
Love that. Mm-hmm. All right, so Cal's dead with a bullet hole in his back, and Wesley and Jaina are in the wind, and his fingerprints are on the murder weapon.
Yeah.
So after they check the apartment, they go and check his parents' motel room.
And he's there.
They're all there.
Hipping him out to the cystic fibrosis.
Well, Jaina's not there, but everyone else is.
Yeah. Which shout out to a friend of the show, Will Pike.
Yep.
Who is like the first generation of kids with cystic fibrosis that is an adult, because you didn't used to be able to grow up to be an adult.
Yeah. Now, in this scene, it is funny. Whenever Mara coughs, all of her coughs are ADR off screen.
That's true.
I rewound and checked. She does not cough a single time.
You'd think that would have been like the thing they would have cast, right? Like the audition would have been like, also she was too old, right? She wasn't 8 years old, right?
She could be 8.
I guess she could be 8. You're right. But still, I would find somebody who's like approximate, who can play 8, who can cough. What else do you need? She had practically no lines. Right. She said like, mommy, I want a soda.
And then
that's it.
Much more in this scene, but anyway.
Still,
they get Wesley to confess. His dad tells them that he couldn't have done it because he doesn't cotton to guns.
We've seen this storyline in other episodes, though.
Sure. Then they find that the police work that they should have had done in the first place turns up the Vic's fingerprints on the bullets in the chamber.
The stuff called evidence, right? Like, did you test his hands for gunshot residue? Yep. Because maybe you should have done that, too.
Yeah. Now, I do sort of think the GSR feint is... I don't know that with as much time as has passed that they'd be able to get any GSR off of her person. They might be able to off of the clothes, but not off of her person, I don't think.
But when they find the gun, and there's no smudged prints on it, which doesn't really.
But they don't come across her for days. Like he's already.
They don't
been
come across her.
arraigned.
Yeah, they don't come across her for days. But with him, you'd think they would have tested his hands for.
Absolutely,
GSR.
yes, him.
Yeah.
But like when they like do the sort of fake out with her with the GSR test, I don't think that with as many days as I think we're meant to believe has passed. Certainly, that you could realistically think had passed.
I'm gonna see if I can search anything here.
They tell her that the evidence proves that Wesley's innocent while you're looking that up.
Yeah.
Now, again, why didn't they have that evidence checked before he was charged with murder? I know cops in general would be more than happy to just take a confession at face value and not look into it. But I think SVU is attempting to sanitize how bad police work actually is by having them say, no, we're dotting our lowercase j's and crossing our t's.
Yeah, regular activities such as putting hands in pockets, rubbing hands together, or handling items can wash the residue away.
Yeah.
So particles may be removed from the shooter's hands within 4 to 5 hours after a shooting event.
Right.
This is according to the FBI.
All right, so Cal's got her fucking in indentured servitude. That's why she shot him.
I mean, literally fucking. Fucking in indentured servitude.
Yeah.
Yep.
She's going to Bedford Hills. Zack's cut loose. Fiend.
I mean, again, if she'd played it a little bit differently, I think she could have gotten a lot more sympathy than she will eventually get from this.
Right, and they're saying she's going to Bedford Hills, but she could play the sympathy card, and like it's one of those episodes where we never see the court case for the secondary.
Yeah, we never see the real court case, but she also wasn't like playing her sympathy cards right, because if she was keeping the in-laws and the daughter super close to her and they were at the trial the whole time, they're not going to be at the fucking trial, man. They're going to be in Arkansas. They're going to be like picking the banjo, maybe having a little crawfish broil, starting their new lives together.
Yeah.
By that muddy river. Josh, are we ready to rank this episode?
Yes.
So guys, obviously we rank these episodes each and every week. We are ranking on the overall quality of the episode, the quality of the guests they're in, how problematic the episode was, and the depth and breadth of lives ruined. Now, let's get the easy ones out of the way quick. Problematic and guests.
10s.
They're
Both.
10s, right? It's easy 10s,
No question.
I think.
Yeah.
It's like not even like, I'm not even thinking about it. Mark Paul Gosselaar alone probably gets this to a 10, but the fact that Elizabeth Banks becomes like, not just a star, but like a fucking mega star after this episode. And she's like kind of killing it here.
Her accent is a little dodgy at times, but
I don't care
that much.
Josh, the only scene I care about with Elizabeth Banks in it is the shoot. And she's fucking killing that scene.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, and then problematic, it's off the charts. It's like the record is scratching.
Copious fluids.
Just from copious fluids while we're panning up fucking Zack Morris's torso.
That's great.
Beautiful stuff. Absolutely gorgeous stuff.
It's what this podcast exists because of.
Yeah, this is why we've been doing this for, wow. This is going to be released on Armistice Day, 2024.
Yeah.
We've been doing this since April 2020, right?
Yeah.
This is why we do this.
We might have released the first episode the first week of March, but first week of May, but we'd been recording for like a solid month and a half.
Yeah. So this is what we lead up to.
Well, this was maybe the biggest blog entry back at the 2008 days.
Mm-hmm.
So that drew
more than Dylan McKay rapist.
I think so. Yeah.
So here's where we get the more contentious categories.
Right.
So overall quality, it's really fun. And it's really fun to watch, but it does have some flaws. So it can't be a 10.
No, I think it's probably
be an 8,
right?
Yeah. Okay, we both come down with an 8. Because the weird thing is that it slows down in the scenes between our leads and our guest stars. right?
Or stunt cast guest stars.
Yeah, like those are the scenes where it like kind of bogs. Like when it's Benson and Stabler and Cal Oman, it's great. When it's Munch and Finn and Phil, it's great.
And it's not the guest star's fault. It's the way it's written.
No. Yeah, it's the writers. It's the writers. Absolutely. 100%. And we're not saying it's bad. It's just not perfect.
No, it's just what keeps it from being a 10 in quality.
Exactly. Okay, so 8. It's still the best episode we've watched on quality since we gave episode 188.
Jesus.
So that dropped a year ago.
A year ago, yeah, 50 episodes.
A year ago. That was Stabler's id cries on Finn's shoulder. That was 9-8 fight. That was the last one we gave a 9 to. We have not given another 8 since then. So it has been a long time since we've seen an episode this good. Now, depth and breadth of lives ruined. Cal's dead. So think of the legions of fans that are deprived.
Oh, sure.
His auteur filmmaking, you know.
We're not going to get the 300-man gangbang that Jaina was lined up for. Probably.
Well, maybe. I mean, Delia Starton might step in because she seemed to be really excited about taking that. And good for her.
Yeah.
Because she's doing it for the right reasons.
Love of the game.
Yeah, she's doing it for the love of the game. Whereas Jaina was doing it just because she was a runaway with nothing else.
She needs to be a star by 30.
Well, but she needs the money, right?
She needs to be a star by 30. She's not going to get any of the money.
Well, not now.
No, she wasn't going to anyway. She says that Cal was going to get all 50. She was going to make 50,000.
Well,
Cal was going to.
But after she killed him, and she was going to take the bus to Vegas. It's just a long bus ride. That's just like it's 7 days on the bus?
Possibly long bus ride.
It's like the longest bus ride anyone's ever fucking taken.
And like the thing is, you know what's not expensive? No, you know what's not expensive? A plane ticket to Vegas from anywhere in the country.
But also, like, a plane ticket to Vegas is considerably cheaper than a bus ticket to Vegas. So I'm going to look bus ticket NYC to Las Vegas. Okay, it's only $268.
It's probably less to fly from New York City to Vegas.
The lowest one I can find actually is $237. It takes 4 days, 65 hours is the quickest one, 65 hours.
And you know that none of those actually end up being on time for the ride.
Yeah. It can be up to over 100 hours. Still,
you can fly on Frontier for $58 nonstop. From one of the New York airports.
Yeah, I mean,
sorry, that's December 5th. Let me find a closer date. What date did you start from?
Saturday, October 26th.
That was round trip, by the way.
A $58 round trip ticket. That's amazing.
Yeah. Frontier, Saturday the 26th. New York to Vegas, $29. So, fly.
Poor life choice. Your ass will appreciate flying. Man, some of these cheaper ones don't even take you to the strip. They take you to fucking...
That's JFK. Sorry, what depth and breadth
what are we talking about?
Ruined.
Depth and breadth of life's ruined. Well, her ass would have been ruined by that bus trip. So I guess maybe in some way she was saved. Yeah, so there's that.
They saved her from a fucking 5-day bus ride.
Mara's going to grow up without her mom, but her mom's kind of a loose cannon.
I beg to differ. I think her mom's a wild card. You're not going to budge me from this.
How do you think Zach's going to transition back to life in rural Arkansas?
It's not going to go great. So is Fallout a 6?
So Mara...
Saved by the Bell fans...
We got Mara, we got Saved by the Bell fans. We're all thinking about Dustin Diamond while we're watching this.
Now, where are you, Screech?
He's dead.
Well, now, but not then.
Yeah, not then, but still he was on a wayward path. So 6. I'm fine with 6. I think 6 works. Stuff happens, but the only person that dies is somebody we don't give a shit about.
Well, all of the people at Oman Management are out of jobs, too. And I think they're doing the Lord's work.
But I do think that a Ray Borland-esque character will step in to fill the gap. An enterprising...
You said gap, but you meant buttholes.
I did. I mean, but if there's a need, it is a need that is going to get filled in that industry. So I'm not too worried about them. I think they're going to continue working. I think that Delia Sarton is going to make it to the big time, man. Like, she's doing it for the love of the game. She is much more likely to be. What's your beach? What is it called?
That was up at was it Zuma? I
That's
think
the
it's
one
Zuma.
With the rock coves, right?
Yeah, no, I
Where
think
they're
it's Zuma Beach.
Yeah. She's gonna be filming scenes there like in like a year, right?
Yeah, for sure.
She's gonna be a legend. She'll have a new like fake name. It's gonna be great. Like, there's stuff happening here and it's fun and we care for them, but I kind of feel like Mara and Wesley are probably in a better situation at the end of this episode than they were at the beginning of this episode.
Agree to disagree. What's the score?
Okay, final score 8.5. So we had an 8.5 in May, and that was Design. Watch the Voltage, Babe. That was the electro probe anal ejaculation episode.
With Estella Warren and
Julian Sands, Linda Carter, Ronnie Cox, Bobby Flay, Mark McGrath. Everybody was in that episode. So, yeah.
So, speaking of Bobby Flay, I was on the S3U subreddit, and someone said that Bobby Flay was an asshole because he cheated on Stephanie March or whatever. And some other user was like, that's not in the show. And I was like, oh, yeah? It was in a cutscene from the season 8 DVDs. And if you know, you know, it's canon. And they're like, oh,
Did you get a reply?
I have those DVDs. I need to rewatch that.
Yeah. You need to watch the deleted scenes.
I didn't say anything. In 3 months, they're going to come back like, hey.
What the fuck? So, I guess, should we roll another episode?
Yeah, we'll roll it.
Know when we're going to do it? We'll roll it, but we don't.
You're going on paternity leave, and I'm just getting a break.
Yeah, we're taking a sabbatical. Josh is taking a sabbatical.
It's not much of a sabbatical. Just means I have to edit more of Unkind Rewind.
Yeah, you get to do that other show.
Yeah, so heading over to episode.lol, which is built for this podcast by friend of the pod, Flet.
Yeah.
We also co-created cinequote.net with our Unkind Rewind co-host, Sean McGrath.
Yeah.
Thanks, Flet.
Not Chief McGrath.
So, tape is spinning. Bill and Ted do not like this part one bit.
Oh, I hate that part.
And we landed in season 16.
Okay.
Episode 14.
Okay.
Intimidation game. Video game developer Raina Punjabi solidifies the launch of her first game amid a stream of online insults, intimidation, and death threats from the male-dominated gaming community. Yeah. When a female employee is assaulted at a gamer convention, Detective Tutuola investigates the crime, but Raina refuses to delay the launch, and the cops must level up to protect her.
Do you know what the name of the game is?
I can't remember.
Amazonian Warriors, Protectors of the Rainforest.
Cool.
There are other games
cool.
featured in this, also like Kill or Be Slaughtered. So we're going to get some online content. Shout out to Gamergate.
Big shout out to Gamergate. That's obviously what this is a nod to.
Yeah.
This one features Logan Paul. Cool.
Oh, great.
Yeah,
cool.
Awesome. Exactly what we wanted. I'm pretty sure we've talked disparagingly about him in real life on the podcast, so it's really great that we get to see this.
We probably will continue to disparage him when we watch this.
Yes. It's also got Muzam Makar, who is...
Oh, yeah. I recognize
she's in Vampire Diaries.
Yeah.
Oh, she's a defense attorney later, I think.
Okay.
Bill Irwin's in it, but we've talked about him before.
Yeah.
She's coming back as Dr. Peter Lindstrom. Anyway.
Oh, yeah.
We have no idea when this one will drop.
Yeah.
Probably be a little bit.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. It might be sooner, might be a little bit later. We might try to bank a couple episodes and drop.
We may.
And so we have a little bit of...
a little bit of newborn buffer.
A little bit of girth, a little bit of length.
Yeah.
So that we used to have like a month out. Remember those days?
Often it was 6.
Yeah. Like 6 episodes out?
Yeah.
Starting with 4 episodes out would be nice. So that's kind of my vision.
Sure.
Now, obviously, I don't want to oversell the Patreon too much right now because we're going to take a little bit of a break, but
Right. I'm going to pause payments on Patreon.
that's what I figured. So the nice thing about Patreon is that it's actually very easy to do that. So we're not just going to be living fat off of your Patreon payments while I'm just hanging out with the fucking newborn baby. God damn it. I can't believe what I'm doing to myself, Josh.
Hey, I didn't do it, man. I've made it to 45 and have 0 children.
Oh, it's going to be a wild ride.
Yeah.
Knock on wood, everything goes well.
I mean, maybe you should have knocked on your wood before that.
But we'll be back, and hopefully we will be stronger.
I'll be at least slightly rejuvenated.
Yeah, I won't. I'm fucked.
You will not.
I'm totally fucked. Anyways, it's going to be an adventure. But still, we do have a Patreon. If you sign up, again, as we were talking about, we will pause these, but you can listen to the whole back catalog ad-free for the $3 tier. And for the $5 tier, when we start back up, you'll get all of our episodes a week early, uncut. Now, this one, we've been talking a while on this one. This one's an edit. It's not an edit like the 3-hour-long episodes that Josh and I had to deal with.
It's still an edit, though.
It's an edit. Just looking at it like, well...
I'll cut at least 50, probably an hour out of this.
Yeah, you can cut an hour out of this. Yep. Now, if you want to discuss this episode or anything else, our Discord channel is going to be there throughout.
Yep.
My paternity leave. Now,
I mean, Adam's not in the Discord anyway, so that's not going to change anything.
You know what actually might happen while I'm on paternity leave is I might actually join the Discord and start doing that.
Don't hold your breath, listeners.
I said might. But you can find the links to that in the show notes or in our website, which is munchmybenson.com, where you can find the links to all of our social media accounts, our various face spaces and my places and Love Studs accounts, all the places that we talk sometimes and go to get an increasingly horrifying sense of dread about the course of human history, because it's not great. Bad things are happening.
Not great, Bob.
Anyways, we have a merch page too. You can find that on our website or in our show notes as well. There's some fun stuff there. There might be more too, depending on how much time Josh and I have over our various sabbaticals. We will see. But guys, let's get into the be that time where I need to go to bed because the 4-year-old, he wakes up in the morning.
And I need to let my brother, who's 20 feet that way, fall asleep.
Oh, he needs to sleep, Josh. He's got a real job. It's Wednesday. Anyways, guys, we will talk to you when we talk to you. But
yes, it won't be too long. And we'll drop some old eps in and whatever. Well,
yeah, there'll be stuff on the feed.
Yeah, we might do an impromptu movie club that'll drop into the main feed. Whatever.
Mm-hmm. It'll be Money Pit. We all know.
It won't.
Josh's favorite
I will
film.
not record an episode on Money Pit. Fuck that. Hate that movie. Not happening. I'd rather do Green Card a second time.
You loved it. You admitted that you just loved Green Card, didn't you? I can't wait.
I did not say that.
All right. Guys, get out there and start munching.
Now, you know that Wesley's back in the hospital?
Yeah, he called. I was gonna call him back on my break. Is he okay?
He's fine.
Look,
All right.
if I don't work, I don't get paid, and we need this money.
Am I gonna have to call a lawyer? Give me the phone.
Why don't you call two? They'll both tell you to stay out of it.
Look, get a warrant or get lost. All right, this is my building, and I don't want you here.
Mommy, can I have quarters for this soda machine?
Gina, I'm sorry. I tried to get her, but I couldn't stop her.
What in the hell is your daughter doing on a porn set?